Zohran Mamdani had an interesting meeting with Trump. All right. I was very confused. I'm not even going to lie. I was very confused. I could not understand for the life of me what Trump's strategy is, how he was doing what he was doing, why he was being so nice to him. But I think I figured it out. This is Zoran Mamdani on MSNBC. He's always on MSNBC and on Meet the Press. I think he is the fakest person in politics today. He always got that smile on, but the people love it. So he's giving the people what they want.
And joining me now is the mayor-elect of New York City, Zoran Mamdani. Mr. Mayor-elect.
Y'all do know that when they start these videos, because I've been on these national shows, they hit you with the 3, 2, 1, and go. So when you see him doing this, he's coming on the camera with the 3, 2, 1, and he's coming on like that because they're counting you down. And so when he's hitting you with the Zoran smile, with the don't mess with the Zohan, this is how he we're going to camera 1 on you. 3, 2, 1, and
joining
go.
me now is the mayor-elect of New York City, Zoran Mamdani. Mr. Mayor-elect, welcome back to Meet the Press, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be back.
Well, it is wonderful to have you here in person, fresh off of your first meeting with President Donald Trump. He praised you. He even said you could do a great job as mayor despite months of a bitter back and forth. Were you surprised by the warm welcome that you got?
You know, I was looking forward to having a meeting with the president to speak about the needs of the 8.5 million people who call the same city we love home, and to speak, frankly, about the affordability crisis that is pushing so many of them out of those 5 boroughs. And I found in the meeting that I had with the president a productive one, and a meeting that came back again and again to the central themes of the campaign that we ran: the cost of housing, the cost of childcare, the cost of groceries, the cost of utilities. And it showed that this is an opportunity to now start to deliver so that people can do more than just aspire to struggle in New York City, but actually to be able to live there.
But did you expect it to be so chummy? What was going through your head when you were standing there?
You know, I thought again and again about what it would mean for New Yorkers if we could establish a productive relationship that would focus on the issues.
Bro. Keep it 100, man. You was excited to be there. You never thought that you would ever make it to the White House. And Trump treated you like a king. He rolled out the red carpet for you. He said that he was going to do good things with you. He told you ran a good campaign. It's okay, bro. It's okay to say I was excited to meet the president. I didn't expect for it to go as well as it went. And I was really, really taken aback at how hospitable the president was. It's okay to say it. You don't have to keep sticking to the talking points.
That those New Yorkers stay up late at night thinking about. Because so often in our politics, we try and tell people what they should be worried about, what they should be concerned about. When you actually ask New Yorkers and you listen to them, you hear it come back to the issues that animated not just the conversation the president and I had with the press after our meeting, but frankly, in the meeting itself. It was a conversation where we spoke about the need to deliver on this agenda. And I appreciated that when the president, when we had that meeting, it wasn't just in the Oval Office. He also took me into the cabinet room. And there we were looking at portraits of presidents of years gone by. And we admired a portrait of FDR. And in many ways, when I think about the candidacy that we've put forward, it looks to Fiorello LaGuardia as the greatest mayor in New York City history. You can't tell the story of LaGuardia without telling the story of FDR and the story of a relationship with the federal government that finally delivered at the scale of the crisis it was facing.
Well, prior to your meeting, I don't know.
Y'all said that Trump is doing it out of love for NYC and not because of him. I don't know. I don't know if Trump loved NYC as much as y'all may think he does. I don't know if Trump loved New York as much as y'all may think it is. I think that Trump may be playing a long game. Trump loves Mar-a-Lago. Trump don't necessarily love New York City. I think Trump loves the United States of America. And I also believe that Trump understands that what's best for New York is also what's best for America. But y'all still got to remember that Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles are the biggest cities in the United States of America, specifically New York. New York is, when people say, I want to go to America, they don't say respectfully, and I love my city, and I think that we're doing an incredible job, and we're going to have a 12th consecutive year of a budget surplus, not deficit, and we're running this city beautifully. But when everybody comes to America, they don't say, I want to go to Detroit. They don't say, I want to go to Memphis or Nashville. They don't say, I want to go to Houston. They don't say, I want to go to Jacksonville. They don't say, ooh, I can't wait to go to America so I can go to Atlanta. They say, I want to go to Washington, D.C., and I want to go to New York and maybe Los Angeles. That's what they say. It's in that order. It's New York, D.C., Los Angeles. That's top three. No matter how we feel, and we that live here in the United States of America can say, man, they running it to the ground. It's a shithole city. You know, we don't like the politics. They keep voting blue, so on and so forth. You could say what you want to say. When people outside of the country say United States of America or United States of America, New York, they say New York, they say Los Angeles, they say Washington, D.C. That's just the reality. So when you are the president of the entire country, it is also important to remember that as New York goes, as much as they're stupid as fuck for electing who is it they elect, as much as New York is what New York is, when you think about America, you think New York and Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. That's just the way that it is. What up, P. Shank? That's the way it is. Everything else is under that. Everything else is under that. Miami is a very close place to that. You know what I'm saying? Different parts of Texas. The Dallas Cowboys is America's team. They think Lakers. They think Knicks. You see what I'm saying? They think Bulls because of Michael Jordan, even though the Bulls has lost a lot of that because Michael Jordan ain't been there and the Bulls ain't won since Derrick Rose was been there. They think America flag, New York, Times Square be booming. Times Square be booming. Atlanta, all of that stuff is under New York, LA, DC. Everything else is under that. Nothing else matters to that. And then you got the different pockets of different things that identify what's great about America. Somebody said Disneyland, 100%. Vegas, 100%. But it's those three cities, and then everything else comes after that. From a city, a metropolitan perspective. It's just the truth. It's not my opinion. That is the truth, bro. Right. Eric D, they don't think Oklahoma City. They don't. It's just the facts. They don't think Biloxi, Mississippi. We may explore it and say, oh man, it's great down here because we going to explore America. They don't think that. They don't think Phoenix, Arizona.
I have to tell you this. President Trump repeatedly threatened to cut off federal funding to New York if you won. The president seemed to back away from that yesterday, though, in his public comments in that joint news conference that you all did. He said, I don't think that's going to happen. I expect to be helping him, not hurting him. Do you believe him when he says that?
No, I believe the president in the conversation that we had, and I will continue to make the case, both to the president and to the country at large, about the needs of New Yorkers. Because what I found, frankly, is that New Yorkers have grown tired of being asked to believe in a system that has delivered very little for them. They're tired of a politics that expects everything from them while delivering little. And what they want now is a politics that can see the scale of the crisis in front of it and actually start to work together to deliver on that.
You know,
somebody FedEx guy Q said, I told a foreigner I'm from Baltimore. He said, is that Africa? Oh man, y'all always say something that get me going, bro. That is the funniest thing ever. Is that Africa?
You ran a campaign, though, saying that President Trump had not delivered on his promise of affordability. Did anything that happened in that meeting make you think, yes, he can deliver on that promise for Americans, for New Yorkers?
Well, I spoke to the president about the fact that while our campaign technically began on October 23rd last year, for many people, they became aware of it after the president won his election. And when I went out and spoke to New Yorkers, asking them who did they vote for and why, in two neighborhoods that swung most significantly towards the president. This was Fordham Road in the Bronx, Hillside Avenue in Queens. And I shared with the president that when I asked those New Yorkers why did they vote for the president, they told me again and again it was cost of living, cost of living, cost of living. And when the president and I were speaking, we were speaking about what is preventing from delivering on that affordability agenda. Sometimes it's a lack of taking on the broken system that we have. And I spoke about in New York City, for example, zoning regulations. We spoke about ULURP. This is a process by which you either approve or deny zoning changes that are made in New York City. We spoke about the need to change so many of those situations such that a developer doesn't tell you the thing more expensive than labor or materials is waiting. And we also spoke about the importance of understanding what it is that hurts New Yorkers in their pockets. It's their rent, it's their childcare, it's their utilities, and it's their childcare. Because the childcare, I say twice, because it is the second highest cost after housing, $22,500 a year for a single child.
Well, let me ask you about the other threat that we heard from President Trump to send troops to New York City to address issues of crime and immigration.
He's never going to admit, even if
We've
he
seen him
did
do this
concede.
in other major
Never
cities.
going to admit this.
Did you get any assurances in your meeting, Mayor-elect Mamdani, that President Trump will not send troops into New York?
I told the president that the cornerstone of an affordability agenda is public safety, and that it is critically important to me. And for all that has been said and all that has been spoken about, and the tens of millions of dollars looking to make New Yorkers fearful of that question, the truth of it is, in fact, that I'm looking forward to working with the NYPD to deliver on that. And I shared with the president that my decision to retain Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch is in large part a recognition of the fact that in her time leading the NYPD, she has driven down crime across the 5 boroughs while starting to uproot corruption that was endemic in the top echelons of that department under Mayor Adams.
And I'm going to follow up with you on your decision to keep Commissioner Tisch. But to this core question that I think so many New Yorkers are curious to know the answer to, what did President Trump say to you? Did he assure you he will not send troops into New York?
He told me that he cared deeply about public safety. I said I cared
But did
deeply
he
about
say he
the
wouldn't
same.
send troops?
What I told him is that what separates New York City from anywhere else in the country is we have the NYPD. And I trust the NYPD to deliver public safety. And to me, that is something that I know that they can do, that they have done, and they will continue to do under my leadership.
So he didn't rule it out in your meeting.
I made it very clear what we wanted to do was to deliver public safety. And
I tell you what, he's certainly adjusted to being a politician because he certainly don't answer no questions. He does not directly answer a question. He has certainly quickly adjusted to be a politician inside of the sphere because he ain't said no answer to no question directly. You know what I did tell him? I did tell him this. Hey, but did he say that he wasn't going to send any troops? You know what? We discussed this, but did he say he wasn't going to send no troops? You know what? I told him that I trust the NYPD, and that's what separates us from the rest of the United. But did he say that he wouldn't send any troops to the United States of America? You know what? I just want to deliver for the people in New York City, and I don't trust people like that, bro. I don't trust people like that. I teach my daughter, although Mamdani is not my daughter. Shout out to Mr. Cardamom. I don't even look at him as the mayor of New York. I look at him as Mr. Cardamom, the rapper Mamdani. And so, you know, I teach my daughter and I teach the people around me. It's answer the question first and then add the context. Answer the question first and then add the context. That's what I teach people to do. Yes, and no, but. But in the school of politics, they apparently teach you to just throw the word salad out, and that's sufficient. So he can't even do that on Meet the Press on MSNBC.
affordability, and the NYPD would be the ones to do so.
In that press conference with President Trump, a reporter asked you whether you believe that President Trump is in fact a fascist, a word that you've used in the past. You were about to answer, then President Trump sort of jumped in and he said, quote, "That's okay, you can just say yes. It's easier than explaining it." So Mr. Mayor-elect, just to be very clear, do you think that President Trump is a fascist?
And after President Trump said that, I said yes. And
So you do.
and that's something that I've said in the past. I say it today. And I think what I appreciated about the conversation that I had with the president was that we were not shy about the places of disagreement about the politics that has brought us to this moment. And we also wanted to focus on what it could look like to deliver on a shared analysis of an affordability crisis for New Yorkers.
You've also said in the past that President Trump has engaged in a, quote, attack on our democracy. You've called him a...
He's stuck between a rock and a hard place because you can tell that he actually likes the president. Y'all getting caught up in semantics, and I'm telling you to look at how he's moving and to make an assessment based off of that. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place because you can tell that he actually likes the president. He likes Trump. He can't stop smiling when he brings up Trump's name. He had a good time at the White House. He's already, evolved, but he can't get away from what he sold to people in New York. And so he has to double down, and he doesn't want to say it, but at the same time, he got to play the game because the people in New York or people that voted for him actually want him to hate Trump. They want him to hate Trump. You can tell that he likes the president. He enjoyed his time in the White House. He took the whole tour. He looked at the Presidential Walk of Fame. They had a whole conversation. They talked back and forth. He had a good time, bro. But what is he going to tell you? That's just, listen, Mamdani is no different than a lot of these guys that are incels that is actually stepbaby daddies. He's no different than the incels that are stepbaby daddies. Man, fuck these hoes. Man, I don't care about these hoes. Skip that chick, man. Man, no, man. Anton said it. Never be a stepbaby daddy. She just for play. She for play. I ain't never taking her serious. And then you look up and they be married to a 3-time divorce, 4-time baby mama. They love the hoes that they talk about. That ain't nothing new. That ain't nothing new. That's the truth. We all like us a good baby mama. Ain't nothing. Listen. The biggest misconception is that men hate women. They don't. They don't. Their experience with them may have colored their perspective on life, but it don't mean that they hate them. You don't like you a good baby mama? I love me a good baby mama. Baby mama's the funnest people to hang out with in the world. They're the funnest people to hang out in the world. It's just like liberals. Bro, have y'all ever hung out with a cool liberal? That's why I don't discriminate, man. Let me tell you something, bro. There is nothing more fun than to hang out with a basehead, zoned out, I like to drink and party, let's make it shake. Ain't nothing like hanging out with a cool liberal, man. They the funnest things in the world. They love to bust it down for a real one. Sex, it's just a thing. We can do it in the morning and we may be able to get one in before the nighttime comes in. They're unstructured, they're unpredictable, and they're a hoot to hang out with. Would you marry one? No, absolutely you wouldn't. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to have a good time. That's why I tell people, I don't hate liberals. I hate what they stand for.